Hello and good day. My name is Jim Biggins. I'm with the Alpha Media Group of radio stations, including 94.5 The Moose. Yeah, that one right there, along with WSGW AM and FM, WTLZ, that's KISS 107, 106.3, The Core as well. Very proud to have with us today Jacob Moody with the Moody Foundation for an event called Bounce and Bites, now heading into its second summer. How about the brief explanation of bounce and bites? The part has got to be obvious. That's got to be food, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So the bites part of it is food, and the bounce part of it is bounce houses.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
So what are we going to be doing this summer that involves bouncing and biting?
Yeah. So I'm the owner of High Country Jumpers,
Mhm.
party rental company in the Tri-Cities. I donate all of my bounce houses to the Moody Foundation to be able to put this event on, so that way it's free for the community. And so that's where the bounce part of it comes in. Like I said, bites is food trucks. We have a couple different food trucks lined up for the year to come on out. We have a total of 4 events. We have June, July, August, and September. It's the third Sunday of each month.
Well, now who would be invited to these events? Is this for everybody? Is this for kids? Is this for who's it for?
It is for everyone. It is more so. It is for kids, for the kids to come on out and enjoy themselves. But it is for everyone. All the bounce houses that are there, they are adult proof, so adults can get on all of them. We do see our July event is a water theme. So we do have a whole bunch of different types of water slides. So a inflatable slip and slide out there. And like I said, that one. A lot of adults do come out to that one, even if they don't have kids, because they want to be a kid for the day.
I just want to know how you tested for adult proof. I mean,
Well, I know it's hard to see on camera, but I'm a fairly large guy, and the bounce houses support me pretty well.
all right, all right.
One of the water slides, I can fit me plus 2 of my buddies who are the same size. We can go arm in arm down the slide together. So
Oh, I want to try that. And I'm not a small guy either, believe me. So excellent. Where did the idea for this come from? Because I know this is the second summer that you're doing it, but where did you see a need in the community, or what gave you this idea?
Yeah, so Bounce and Bites. So the Moody Foundation who puts on Bounce and Bites. We're trying to serve the community in 2 separate ways. One, put the free event on for the community to come out and enjoy themselves. But all the funds that we raise through this event, and most of our fundraising does come from sponsorships for the event. So business owners, if you're out there, we'd love to have you as a sponsor.
Absolutely.
But the money that we do raise goes back to the Moody Foundation to help. The mission of the Moody Foundation is to help underprivileged families afford extracurricular activities for their kids. So school sports, clubs, art camps, band camps, anything like that. Essentially anything that gets kids away from a screen will help support that. We do follow MISHDA regulations when it comes to that to get, for the low income families there. Like I said, this, anything that gets kids away from a screen, we'll help with that. How the foundation got started, it's kind of 2 different pieces that were like pieced together a little bit. There used to be an event in Midland called the Midland Food Truck Festival. I always supplied bounce houses to that festival. And then that festival was kind of going away. And so I've kind of picked that back up a little bit, trying to do something similar to that, but make it a little bit more kid oriented. But the foundation part of it, where that came from, was I had a friend who was very close to me who their kids was not going to, the mother was not going to let the kids do extracurricular activities, even if the father was going to pay for all of it. If the mother could not pay for her half of it, then the mother said, no, kids shouldn't be involved. And so like I said, that was a very close friend of mine, and that kind of made me start thinking, like, all right, what can I do to help out with this? Because I don't think that's right. I was very much involved in sports as a kid. I did track, basketball. I did wrestling, soccer, football. I hung out with friends at the Sanford Beach playing volleyball. I did a lot of different types of sports. I was also in band. I did, as a kid, you're required to do choir, but I was part of that. Being out and doing that, and plus a lot of the things that I learned doing that helped shape me to be the person I am. Especially with sports. Yeah. And I don't want a financial barrier to be there for families that that they want their kids to be well-rounded, like I was growing up.
Your first event ties into that so perfectly, because I think a lot
Yes.
of kids at the schools, and I'll have you explain the first night coming up, the June school night, um, because so many kids, I think nowadays, might not even be aware of all the options available at their school because they've gotten into the habit of, right after school, we're going to go home and game or this or that, and they might be missing opportunities that they didn't even know about, or they haven't really been exposed to in a way to really know if they'd be interested or not. So, what's the first night about?
Yeah, so the first night is school night. That is where we do invite local schools, their sports and clubs, coaches, all that all those type of people to come on out, showcase what they are. Exactly what you said, because I know a lot of people don't know about them. I mean, even when I was in high school, I mean, there was clubs that I still didn't know about. Like you just don't. Some of these clubs they're so niche that that they don't really have the opportunity to showcase what they do and try to do any sort of recruitment on that. And so that's what the school night's about, is to bring those clubs and those sports out into the community, have them interact with the community and showcase what they do, and have that community connection.
And the thing about that too, I think a lot of kids probably won't realize it, but our generation and maybe older generations, I know you're younger than me, don't even rub that in. But one of the things that a lot of our best friends from school are probably the kids we played ball with, or the kids that we were in band with, and that stays forever. So those are some pretty important bonds to make available.
Yeah.
The June school night, when's it going to be?
It is June 15th. It is on
Okay,
Father's Day.
I don't think we talked about the location of these yet, have we?
No, we have not. So the location for all four of our events this year, it's at the corner of Patrick and Washington in Midland.
Okay.
For those of you listening, if you're coming from Bay City, Saginaw area, you would take the downtown Midland US 10 exit. And then when you get to the end of that exit, there's a roundabout. We're right there on the other side of the roundabout.
There you go.
Can't miss us.
Not hard to find at all. And by the way, we haven't given all the dates yet, but one of the things I found cool about this, Sundays. These are Sundays in the summer, and anybody who's lived here for a while knows that there's always a ton going on Friday and Saturday. But a lot of times you get the perfect weather day on Sunday and say, well, what do you want to do?
Yep.
Can't find a thing. And here you go. You're going to have a perfect opportunity.
Yeah. And it's free for families, right? It's a free family fun day.
Jacob, you're the one to respond to that, I suppose.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a free family fun day. And we chose Sundays. For one, there's not a whole lot of things going on Sundays, but two, it's a 4-hour event, 1 to 5, and we want to make sure that people have something there to eat. And so that was part of our decision too about doing it on Sundays, was be able to get food trucks. Very, very hard to get food trucks out on a Saturday because they're almost always booked out a year in advance for the summertime. So on Sundays, it is a little bit easier for us to get food trucks. And actually this year, I've had quite a few food trucks actually reach out to me and be like, hey, we want to be a part of this. And June and July, we are fully booked for that. We want to make sure that we don't get too many food trucks out there, because we want to make sure the food trucks make money as well. So June and July, we are already booked. We are looking for 1 or 2 extras for August and September. But like I said, this year I didn't have to reach out to anybody. They all reached out to me.
Perfect.
So that's wonderful.
Well, and thank you, Sue. This is Sue Moody, who is sitting right next to Jacob there.
Yes.
We didn't get your name on the screen, and I apologize for that.
That's okay.
Overlooked that. All right, so that's what we're going to do in June. Come July, and the July date is July 20th. What are we going to do for fun on that day?
So that is our water day, where we'll have all of our bounce houses. We'll have water on them. We have 18 and 20-foot tall water slides. We got a 40-foot long slip and slide. And then we do have a couple of the smaller water slide combos for the littler kids. Their bouncing areas are, they're 6 foot by 8 foot. One of them is 8 by 8. But the slides on them are only 6 foot tall. So they're not huge slides, but they're, those are meant for the littler kids, and the adults and the bigger kids, they can go down the bigger slides.
Now, that's something I wanted to check on too, because, when I had my kids, we had our little backyard slip and slide. Okay, fine for the kids. Dad was going to hurt himself on something like that. But Dad misses the ability to do that. So you're promising that what you're bringing, I could get on that, and it's going to accommodate my size and lack of coordination adequately.
Yes, absolutely. It is, like I said, it is inflatable. And it's a double lane. So if you have a friend out there, you want to race them, go right ahead.
All right. Now we're talking. There's some bets to be made. Not that we would do that sort of thing. All right. Perfect. Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Donate the winnings to the Moody Foundation. You'll be all good.
There you go. There you go. Good plan. All right. Let's move ahead to August. Now, August is going to be on the 17th, again, on a Sunday, 1 until 5. And what do you got planned for that day?
August is our car show. We have 5 different categories, and they're all voted on by the attendees. So us board members, we do not vote on them at all. It's all the attendees that vote on that. Last year, we put out a Facebook ad to trying to get some entries for it, and I think we had 40 plus entries in a week because of that. So, and a lot of those people said we would love to come back next year. So.
The folks in the car community too, when they know there's an event they like to be at, they will invite their other car friends.
Yep.
And, yeah, I would expect a much bigger turnout now that they've had 1 year to experience that. The car stuff, probably mostly for the adults. Or will you still have bounce houses for the kids and stuff that day?
Yep. So bounce houses are at every event. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't want some kid to look at a 38 Ford and think the back seat's a bounce house or something. might cause some problems there. Excellent. All right. All the way into September. There's no reason to stop just because Labor Day hits. What are we going to do in September? Oh, by the way, it's September 21st.
Yep. It's September 21st, and that is our costume party. So we encourage kids and adults to come out in costumes. If you want to, if you bought your costume earlier this year for Halloween, bring it on out. I know myself. I have 6 kids between me and my fiance, and I think last year we spent like $500 on costumes. So, and any chance we can get to use those more than one night, we definitely try to do. So, so this year we try to do a little bit closer to Halloween, towards the end of September there. That way, like I said, if you bought your Halloween costume early, bring it on out. Showcase what you got going on there, or if you want to dust off last year's Halloween costume, more than welcome to do that as well. Just trying to make it fun and entertaining for kids. Adults, if you do wear a costume, please remember this is a kid-friendly event. We want to make sure that we're wearing kid-friendly costumes.
Yeah, we don't want to see that one on the news the next day. No.
Yes, exactly.
And the great thing is too, I mean, in the last couple of years, you're kind of rolling the dice a little bit on Halloween Day. How many times have you had kids showing up at your door and you don't know what they are because they got a heavy coat over their costume, and it's like, and the kids aren't having fun if they have to do that. So yeah.
I remember last year trick or treating. It was very cold, and the year before that, it was raining.
Oh yeah. It's a dangerous thing come October in Michigan. Yeah. What did the original idea for Bounce and Bites? Did that happen during the truck festival, the food truck festival, or when did you finally think to yourself, if we make a few changes, we can have a new event?
Yeah. So that was at the end of the last year. The food truck festival went on. So the person who put that on, he was on our board for a while. Then he decided to step down to do some family health issues. But he was a big portion of helping us plan this event last year. And for him, he loves doing that type of stuff. He's been doing it for 30 plus years. But he was getting to the point where he just couldn't do it himself anymore. Right. And so that's where I and then, like I said, when I already had the idea for the foundation, that's when I kind of put 2 and 2 together, and I called him up and I'm like, hey, this is kind of what I'm thinking. What do you think about this? He goes, it sounds like a great idea. I'd love to help you out with that. And so, like I said, he was one of our original board members. Like I said, he had some family health issues, so he had to step down for a little bit. Hopefully when that, and the family health issues go away, that he'll be able to come back onto our board. We'd love to have him back.
We look forward to that moment. Can you think of any highlights from last year that convinced you? Oh yeah, we got to do this again.
The water night.
Yeah.
That was our biggest night last year, and that was phenomenal. We had great turnout. Kids absolutely loved it. We had a couple people from that are very active on social media that were posting about our event, and that just drew in more people.
Oh, nice.
That was definitely one of the events that we really liked last year. But I say for me, as this being my foundation and my idea to bring this to life, What really hit me was when we did the car show. So last year we did the car show in June.
Okay.
We weren't requiring entry fees at all, but we were asking for a $10 donation. Like it wasn't required. We just asked for it. The amount of people that came up and gave me $100 and said, keep the change.
Wow.
You know, that made me feel good, and that hit, that had my emotions going. And so the fact that, that we're able to do this and have that response from people that we support what you're doing, and, and we, keep on doing it. That hit me pretty good.
Tell me a little bit more about, I'm sorry, go ahead, Sue.
I was just saying that happened several times last year where families would just come up and say, how can we give back? How can we make a donation? And that's when we started putting a jug out, and we, get a few donations every time we did the event. So, and it was important to them because it was free for them to come out and spend a few hours with their kids, and not have to worry about, $100 to take them to a movie or something. So,
Yeah. It can be tough on parents, no doubt about that. How did the Moody Foundation come about, and how long has it been functioning?
So we got our official nonprofit status last year in 2024 in January.
Okay.
And then, like I said, what sparked the idea for me was like I had that really close friend who the mother was not willing to let the kids do extracurricular activities, even though the father was going to pay for all of it. If she couldn't afford her half, she goes, nope, kids shouldn't be able to do it. Like I said, that's one of my very close friends. I think of his kids as my own, and that hit me pretty hard. And so I'm like, I want to do something about this, and that's kind of where the Moody Foundation, that's where it originally started. I mulled on that because that happened, in 2023 during the summertime is when that happened. And so I mulled on that for a couple months, and then when my counterpart for the food truck festival, when he decided he wasn't going to do it again, that's where the two pieces came together, and that's when I contacted my attorney, and I was like, hey, I want to do this, and can you help me with it? And he goes, absolutely, love to help you out with it. And so I know there's been I get a lot of questions. I go, how complicated was a nonprofit to create that? I'm like, I don't know. I hired an attorney. So I paid the bill. He asked me a couple questions. He took care of the rest of it for me. So
Outstanding. It's amazing how just one
organizations in town that families can get a scholarship, like some of the little league teams or the soccer club, but it's very restricted. It only pays for the registration fee. So, when the family needs cleats and shin pads and the gloves and everything else that goes along with that's kind of where we can step in. We heard recently that Boy Scouts or scouting in general is getting very expensive, and a lot of families are being involved in scouting because they can't afford it. So that's another thing that the scholarships can jump in and help with.
It's interesting. I mean, you found this place where there was, there were some cracks in the, in the community that needed to be filled, and you don't identify them until you see one happen. And you saw one happen, and then probably after that, when you started asking some questions and talking to more folks, it's like, oh yeah, scouting could use help, sport could use them help, and it's like, oh yeah, we need to do something. It's outstanding. I'm so happy that you're motivated to do that, because the real change in the community, we don't expect your city council to handle everything. They've already got enough on their table. Has to come from us, has to come from the members of the community, and that's exactly what you've done. So thank you for that. If somebody wants to sponsor or get involved in any way, what is the best option for them, or what should they do?
They can give me a call directly. My phone number is 989-600-5703. They can call me directly. They can go right on our website. Our website is the word bounce, the letter N, and the word bites.com. We do have a contact us form on there. They can fill that out, and mention that. And then if you see, myself or Sue here, if you see us out in public, we almost always have a sponsorship form on us. More than happy to talk to you about it. Between the both of us, we are very involved in the community. We go to a lot of different functions. in the community. So like I said, if you see us, come up, say hi. Especially if you're very interested in being a sponsor, we would love to have you. Like I said, we do take donations from attendees at our events, but probably 95%, if not more, of our funds that we raise come from sponsors for these events.
And everybody is invited.
Correct. Yep. Everybody's invited.
Outstanding. Oh my gosh. Well, Jacob and Sue, this is wonderful. I'm not sure if I'm ready to challenge you to a race yet, but I got till July to, work that out, get back in shape, whatever. Yeah, that'll be fun. The website has been crawling along the bottom of the screen, so it's very easy to remember. And I'm hoping that you hear from a lot of folks who might want to get involved. Do you need volunteer help as well on those days, or?
Yes, we will always welcome volunteers. Taking down 10, 12 to 15 bounce houses is a lot of work. So definitely welcome volunteers. And like you mentioned about our website, for those of you who are in need. You can visit our website. There is a scholarship application right on our website. It is a PDF form, so you do have to download it because, like I said, we do follow MSHDA regulations for low income. So we do ask for some income verification, and so download the form, fill it out, find the appropriate documents you need, and then our address is right on there. You can mail it back to us, or you can drop it off if you would like. Like I said, it's, if you are in need, do not feel bad about asking for help. That's what we are there for. We want to help you.
And we have funds to give away.
Yes.
This is a resource. Look at it. If you have a kid who just would love to pick up that instrument or love to try that new sport or whatever, this is a resource. Let's give our kids every chance, to try every interest that they have as much as possible. You never know when they're going to land on one that's going to take them a long way. So we'd hate to miss that opportunity just over a few dollars here or there. That's something. Yes. Well, Jacob, Sue, thank you so much. This is an awesome event. Bounce and Bites 4 events. The dates again: June 15th, July 20th, August 17th, September 21st. School night in June. Learn about your offerings of local schools in terms of extracurriculars. The water fun in July. I see some adult competition there on those slides. Big car show in August, and of course the costume party in September. Absolutely awesome. I appreciate the work you've done and taking a little time to come on with me today. So thank you so much, Jacob. Thank you so much, Sue, and we'll see you in around June.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, thanks, Jim, for having us on. We greatly appreciate this.
My pleasure.